Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast, the season of healing intentionally. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am so glad that you are here. This season, we are slowing down to go deeper. Every Monday and Wednesday, we're creating a space of intentional healing, authentic conversations, and the kind of self-love that transforms from the inside out. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself intentionally is the foundation of true transformation. So whether you're on your own journey of rebirth, navigating life transitions, or simply choosing yourself, this is your safe space. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's heal together intentionally, because you deserve to embrace that beautiful person that you are. Now let's get started. People, welcome to another episode of the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. I'm so honored to have you all join me here today for this sacred space of healing, truth, and transformation. Well, as you know, this year has been all about the year of rebirth, a time to let go of what we thought we had to be and to reclaim who we truly are. And this month of October series is all about stepping into our authenticity. That means getting real, peeling back the layers, and coming home to our true selves. Now, if you haven't already downloaded our free resource, The Year of Rebirth Workbook Part 2, go to the link in our show notes. This month's section is dedicated to exploring your authentic voice and releasing what no longer aligns you. Well, today I am so excited about this episode because this is one that touches my soul deeply. We're diving into something powerful, healing through Akashic Records, and with the incredible Kanika V. I'm going to say Kanika V because I don't want to mess up her last name, but Kanika is an energy coach and an Akashic Records reader, and her story, a transformation, is both heartbreaking and profoundly inspiring. But before we bring Miss Kanika to the stage, we're going to take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on this Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back. Hey, it's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. By bridging the gap between them all. And we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnaomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people, welcome back. Well, welcome, Miss Kanika. How are you?
Thanks a lot for having me on the show. I am doing well. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm excited for this conversation. We had a little bit of a quick conversation before, so I can't wait till our listeners truly hear what you have to offer us today. All right, but before we do that, I would love to just ground ourselves with a quick meditation. All right. So right now, listeners, you already know how we do it. If you can just get in a comfortable position and close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And hold it for a moment. Now slowly exhale through your mouth. Let's repeat that. Inhale. Hold for a moment. Now exhale and let go. One more time. Inhale clarity. Hold. Now exhale anything that is weighing you down. Now I want you to silently affirm, I am safe to be me. I am open to discovering my truth. Breathe in one more time. Exhale. And when you are ready, please open your eyes. All right, my beautiful people, again, thank you all for just sharing this space with me today. And if you're new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something we do every day, Monday through Friday, Well, again, I want to welcome Kanika. Well, welcome to the show. I am truly grateful that you are here with us. How are you? You ready?
Yes, I am. I'm so excited. And I have to say that meditation was so lovely, so grounding. Just absolutely love being here.
Thank you so much. All right, so your journey has been nothing but short of powerful. But can you take us back to the beginning? What brought you to the world of energy healing and to the Akashic Records?
Yeah, sure. Um, I think it's my, well, maybe I have to say favorite story because it is a story of transformation. It is a story of hope for everyone who is listening to this. And it's a story of change as well. Um, so if I begin my story, or perhaps, how life was before all of this, I'm an engineer by background, I'm an MBA professional. There was a point in time where I was leading multi-million-dollar projects across the globe. So I was a very black and white person in the sense the world was this or that. There was nothing gray in between. I was very ambitious, very much working to be successful in terms of whatever I knew back then, which was what are people valuing in terms of success. So I was chasing more money. I was chasing jobs that looked better. I wasn't following my heart. I sort of didn't even know that as much. It was more like, well, everybody seems to have figured it out. Like, this is the right thing for me to do. So let's follow that path. So if you looked at my Facebook photographs, or if you just saw me then, it wasn't that I was trying to be inauthentic, but I would post those happy pictures. You would look at them, look at me going on beautiful vacations, and you'd think, well, yeah, she's having a fantastic life. Except I was empty inside. I was burnt out. I was overwhelmed. Some part of it I knew. I also think that there was a whole part that I did not know. That this is how terrible, how alone I was feeling.
Yeah.
But something started shifting for me. Like, I started feeling like I was very disconnected. I would wake up that time, and I would just not be happy. My son was about 2.5 at the time. I was also pregnant with our second daughter. And the pregnancy on paper, like when I would go to the doctors, it was the easiest, healthiest pregnancy. Like, there was nothing going wrong with it. But I also remember waking up so many mornings and just crying, like terribly crying, because I would feel so sad inside. So I knew something had to shift. I knew something was really off. I tried doing things that people say, like therapy or just mindset and self-care, which at that time I didn't know much, but I'd go for a massage. The thing was, like, I'd do that bit of self-love. I'd come back, like, massage was good, but I come back to the same place. Like, it's the same thing that I'm trying to run away from. So it didn't shift anything for me. And then one day I woke up. I had slept very peacefully the night before, which also for any pregnant mom also meant that my baby hadn't moved as much before at that night. And obviously I was worried. I went to the doctors. When I went, they told me that the baby had no heartbeat. So I had to give birth to a stillborn. And that's dreadful. That's shocking. That's overwhelming. That's very sad. But I think also now I was not able to run away from the grief, from the pain, because whatever mask I was trying to put on, it was just there in front of me. And there was lots that happened with that. I realized the shame that I had for me, shame, lot of shame, because I'd failed to deliver. Shame on how I was as a mom. I was judging myself as a mom. And I really wanted to connect with my daughter because I really wanted to apologize to her. I really wanted to wish her peace. I just really wanted to connect with her, which is what started this upward cycle for me. So I found my way through energy healing and the Akashic Records. So Akashic Records are a mystical library. So they exist on the plane around the earth, like just around the field,
Okay.
and multiple realms. But they basically have the story of all of our lives, and not just this lifetime, but they have story of all of our lives, whatever we've done.
Mm-hmm.
So it will basically explain why I'm having a certain experience, not right now,
Right.
not just from this little in on the dance floor space, but really from a much bigger perspective. Like, why is everything happening? What lessons I'm taking on as a soul? What is it that I've learned so far? What is the bigger purpose I'm on? And so forth. So when I started connecting, so I found some teachers, started learning about energy healing because I really had to just cope then.
Right.
Every day was hard. But as I worked through that, and as I connected with the Akashic Records, I also learned that I had a soul contract with my daughter,
Mm.
a sacred agreement that I'd made before I came here. So, on the earth dimension, it sounds really terrible what
Mm-hmm.
happened. But the truth is that I had an agreement with her before I incarnated, and I told her that if I am wasting my life again, please come and wake me up. Like, do everything you can because I don't want to go through this life sleeping. Like,
Mm.
wake me up because I need to work through my things. So she had tried all the things that I'd felt before, where I was feeling disconnected and so on. She was giving me those subtle signs along with all the other spirit guides. They were trying to tell me that, hey, you're off, like, do something, feel
Yeah.
happy. That's your natural state. They were telling me that. I could not get it in the body. And so they had to bring the big billboards out and they go and go like, you're not listening, girl. Like, we've got to give you something that really shakes you up because you're just not listening to the mild tremors. So we have to bring the earthquake here. And so that's why that happened. So as much as it feels like, oh, on the earth plane, it feels terrible.
Yeah.
It is not a terrible story. I would actually say that it's a blessing because life really changed after that.
Mm-hmm.
I was not happy inside before, and it changed the world for me to be able to even think that I want to spread light in the world. I would have not even dreamt of that.
Yeah.
There's such a massive shift, and which is what I want to bring to the listeners as well, because it does not matter what's going on in your life. What is it that you're really feeling very sad about or triggered with? Know that there's a deeper purpose to it.
Yes.
Know that the pain that you are going through, there is something that is far more empowering, that's far more shinier that
Yeah.
awaits you.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for sharing that story, and my heart goes out to you just listening to that of having a baby that you have carried for so long, and you wake up one morning and it's not the same, but you felt the shift, not knowing what that shift was, and I felt you. I felt every, I felt every moment and energy of it. One thing we talk about a lot here on the Season of Self Love is being aware of what is going on around you, the things that happen in our lives are, and I can't say this enough about the lessons that become teachable moments for others. And so a lot of times when we go through these traumatic situations that we have, and I love how you said is that you had a contract with your daughter, and that was when she came back to you in that moment, that was a wake you up because you're not aligned to what you are supposed to be doing in this life, and it was good that you were open to that, because sometimes people are not even open to it because they're so involved into the life that they live right now. Just to share with you, I myself began my spiritual awakening when I was pregnant with my last baby, and I was in 2012. And so I was on bed rest the whole entire time. I could not walk. I could do anything. And so I created a prayer list, a prayer room in my closet. And that is where I started to get connected with more spiritually with God. I always knew that I was, connected with God spiritually, but it was just so much more stronger. And then in detail, maybe understand like, no, this is so much bigger than who you are and what you're doing. Like it's so much bigger than this. And just through the past 12 years, it's just showed me just all of the footsteps, all of the marks of everything. And even just sitting here with you today, like when I looked, I was like, I'm quite not sure exactly what this is that she do, but I know that this is something that our listeners, you and our listeners, that we need to understand, because we do have a bigger purpose in life. And I don't think we see beyond what's in front of our face, because we're worried about the situation now instead of really paying attention. What am I supposed to learn from this? What lesson am I supposed to hear from this so I can be able to speak to others, whatever the message that God has given me?
I think it's beautiful. I think it is beautiful what you shared with me. Thanks a lot. The multiple things that I'll pull on from there. So one, like, you said that you had your prayer in the closet, and that was your way of connecting. And I think that's a very beautiful point that you bring out, because a lot of times when we grow up, we taught about God, we taught about source in its own way. And however we are taught, a lot of times it is that you access God through somebody, through something.
Yes.
And this is the myth that I'd love to demystify. It does not matter whether you call it God, source, however you call it, universe, creator, creatress, whatever your name is, it's okay. And you have a direct channel. You are born from that same divine spark.
Yes.
So you are the divine child in that sense. And you truly are. So know that you have the connection whenever you will call out for help, which is why, it worked for you then. And it worked for me too when I lost my baby and I didn't know what to do. One thing I was going to again and again, I knew I wanted to really connect with my daughter. I had no idea how. Like, I did not know any spiritual teacher. And I lived in like one of the very remote islands, so I had no idea how things would work out. But I had a prayer just like you, and it was like, help me, and help me, universe, help me get through this. So similar message for the listeners as well. Just ask for help and trust that you have that direct channel.
Yes. Yes. Just that word trust. But let's talk about having faith. Let's truly talk about having faith. It's something that I say to my listeners all the time. I have this tattoo on the back of my back, on my lower back, that says God in spirit. Not truly knowing exactly what that truly meant for me. I get that when I think I like 19, 20 years old. And
isn't it so divine, by the way, like how things happen?
Yeah. And then truly understanding that I literally had to have, I built my relationship with God. Not that I stepped away from religion, but I kind of did. Me being in the adult industry, I didn't want to go to church doing what I was doing because I was told that I shouldn't be doing that. So God wouldn't love me because of that. But knowing that in my car is where I prayed and I talked to God the most when I went to set. So those are when I knew that God showed up for me the most out of my life, period. And that connection and understanding and knowing who that was. And I felt that within myself. That taught me that we all have God within us, that we don't have to no longer look outside of ourselves to see what that is. So when we are sitting in prayer, that opens us up to hear, that we can truly hear what God is saying to us. It could come through a message, through a song, through a deck of cards, through just anything just coming to. But you have to be willing to be open, to trust it, trust the process, have faith in what you really are asking for. It's something funny that my auntie used to say. She said, I'm going to pray for you. I said, but make sure you pray for real. Don't be just saying words just to be saying them. Say them with intention. Understand, and if you're not going to do it, please don't pray for me. Please don't pray for me if it's not going to, if it's not going to be intentional. Because I'm not just speaking to God just to be talking and praying. Now I'm listening. Now I'm asking for the guidance. Even before this episode, I asked God to make it for clarity, clear to understand, to strengthen my intuition, to strengthen everything so I can be able to hear whatever it is that it is for you that you say for me to understand. I can't talk about my audience, but I hope that my audience will listen and hear. But I'm also looking for myself. So, and also thank him for the blessings that even brought me through this journey, because without me being on that adult set, I would have never been right here on the season of self-love. It would never have been brought to me here. And so when you say about connecting, through each spiritually channel in energy wise, I understood exactly what you meant by that. And my prayer is that every one of our listeners can see, okay, I went through that brought me here. And I went through that brought me here. Mm-hmm. Now I'm ready to see where I'm going to next. So let me listen to what Nyomi and Kanika has to say, so I can see where I can go in the next week or 2 weeks or whatever happening right now, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. Totally. We think that life is a very silo process. We think, like you were saying, we feel sometimes that things are happening to us, but really peel away that layer if you can. Try and step above a little bit and just ask, why is this happening? Not from a victim perspective, like, why is it wrong? Why me? Not from that, but more from, what is the story here? What am I being told to learn? Because your soul loves you so much.
Yeah.
Your soul really wants you to grow. There is a bigger lesson in there. Every single hardship, every single hard relationship, every single hard lesson, it's brought you here.
Yeah.
Where you've learned something, you've thrived, you're much better off for that experience, even if it's a terrible one.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, because I love that you did take your pain and you brought it to where you're now healing, helping others to heal, or teaching in their healing moment. But for anyone this is their first time ever hearing this Akashic Records, how would you explain it to them, what they are?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so imagine an apple. An apple. And let's start with that. Imagine an apple and think of this is your soul. This is the bigger part of you that knows a lot more. Okay, stay with me still. Slice it into 1,000 pieces or 2,000 pieces. Take out one little slice. That little slice, which is probably a little sliver because it's so transparent now, because you've cut the apple into like 2,000 pieces. It's so transparent, it's so thin, paper thin. This is your current lifetime. So when we say, oh my God, I'm feeling so painful and so on, just know that is this tiny experience. Mm-hmm. The soul is the whole apple. And what that whole apple, or what the soul is doing, is just going to other lifetimes. And it's just trying to have a slice of different experiences. Like sometimes we go and we have Mexican food, we might have Chinese food, we might have whatever other cuisines. Mm-hmm. We might go and watch different movies because we just want to immerse ourselves in there, experience that. And that's what the soul is doing. It's just living all those lifetimes, and it's just going, okay, hey, what does love feel like? So it's not really saying this is wrong, this is right. And hence that is the other myth around God. The shame is a very earth concept, that God is judging you, that somehow you are less because of something that you've done, something that's happened to you. That's a very earth concept, and it's false, because God, source, universe, it is not judging you. Your soul's not judging you. It's just saying, let's try that out. Yeah. Let's just see, what does this feel like? And what does lack of love feel like? What does being overpowering in love feel like? What does a narcissist relationship feel like? It's just trying to understand love. It's going, okay, what does unconditional love feel like? What does sacrificing in love feel like? It's just trying to have a big picture. It's just really trying to understand everything. Watch a lot of movies on the subject, if you will. But we, on Earth, we go, well, this is me. We take that little sliver of that apple slice and we go, well, this is my whole story. It's not. You're much bigger than that. You have infinite potential. You have a lot of wisdom, because look at the whole apple and look at all the experiences you're having. Look at that wholeness in you. You are truly divine. So when we look at the things here on Earth, first of all, perhaps we can remember that it's just one lifetime amongst the thousands that you've had. Your current lifetime is based on all the previous evolutions, incarnations that you've had. So you're growing from that. Every experience, whether it's negative, positive, you're just learning, you're just growing from there. So just have that awareness in mind. Akashic Records actually holds all of these stories. They hold my apple, they hold your apple, they hold all the anything that would have any sort of consciousness, even let's say a business, a country, it would just have those records there, because they're just holding that whole story of all of us. So when we tap into the Akashic Records, it gives us that bird's eye view. So again, if I could explain that with an example, imagine you're going on a road and there's a traffic jam. And this is your lifetime right now, but you don't understand why the traffic jam is, where the jam really is, what car crashed into what. You don't know the details. But I just know that, oh my God, I am stuck right now. This is it. Imagine if you could fly above and you could see how big the traffic jam was. You could see what caused it. You could see, okay, how much time it takes or how you can clear it out. That's what the Akashic Records help you to do. Because when you go up in the Akashic Record library, then you can see your whole soul's picture. So on Earth, it feels like, okay, someone cheated on me or someone robbed my money. And we go, we don't understand that. We might go into shock. We might have whatever reaction we have to that, but we don't understand always the bigger learning point. But when you tune into the Akashic Records, you can understand why that happened. Maybe I'll give you 2-3 very quick client stories to help explain like how this fits into the bigger picture, right?
That was my next question.
Maybe I read you. Okay, so I had this client come to me and, well, I'm trying to see which is the first one that I should pick up. Maybe let's talk about this woman. And she came to me because she was just having repeated female infections. Like she would go on from thrush to a bacterial vaginosis, whatever that's called, and then back and back again, right? Like from one to the other, from one to the other. So she wasn't able to get off antibiotics. But her bigger thing was like, well, I just can't keep taking drugs all my life. I just want to get out of this. And I don't know why I have that pattern. And whatever is happening in our lives is because there was something that happened in this lifetime and we're carrying that pattern. We need to evolve from that. Or it's happening because we carried some imprint from our past life. Because it's all connected in the soul. So when I looked at her, her past life popped up. In this lifetime, this was in the 1800s. And in this lifetime, she is on the bed in child labor. So 1800s, they don't have as many, let's say, scientific advancements to really help a woman during this time. And so there are people around her, but they truly don't really know what to do because the baby is healthy. She's lying there. She's really trying to push it out. But the baby is not coming out as much. There's a long time of delivery of just those contractions, that labor. There's a lot of blood flow that happens, blood loss that happens during this time as well. So by the time she's able to push the baby out, the baby's passed away.
Mm.
So it was a perfectly healthy baby, a son, an heir that they'd wanted at that time. And it had passed away.
Mm.
Now, her lesson that the soul wanted to be on was for her to own her own power of healing, meaning not to rely on others so much, but also to retain your own agency that, okay, it's my baby, I'm going to do this. Whereas they were getting tense on the floor there, and she sort of let that energy come on to her. And it wasn't as if she gave up on the child, but she literally did put her life totally into their hands, feeling like she had no power at all. And this is what her soul wanted her to teach, to trust in your own body, to trust in your body's ability to heal as well. So fast forward, what is happening in this lifetime? The soul will always try and knock with the smaller things first. Like whatever happens to us, notice that whatever pattern is happening, it'll first start with a small thing, like just a small trouble somewhere. Then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So right now she was having these things and it was discomforting. It was not great, but the lesson was still the same. It was like, okay, just get into your own power. Yes, you're depending on the doctors to advise you what to do and so on, but own your own internal power of healing. Like work with your body, be in alignment, ask your body, tune in, and then use that force to clear out these infections. But that's not even the full story, because when I told her this, she looks at me and she goes, oh, now I understand why I never want to talk about having kids. Because imagine in the 1800s, she had delivered. When she had a child, it meant that she did not have the child. The child passed away. Body still remembers it. He's going, even today, that, well, I can't even think about it because, let's not do that. It's wrong. So see how he happened?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when we clear that, it's clearing not just her path to allow her to be more in tune with her body and heal herself. It's also healing that place where she can think about kids again, where her body is actually ready to have kids again. Because as a soul, we get traumatized as well.
Yeah.
We get soul imprints, we get interferences in between that happen. Another one, I'll talk about another client. And so she came to me because she just had trouble expressing herself, like talking. And this was one of her past life experiences because she had seen her father kill her mom in a past life. So again, that was very, very old, but she still carried it today. Because what had happened then was that her mom had spoken out some truth. Dad did not like it. It was like some religious party and sort of went against them. And so the dad, and then there were multiple people with him who just slashed her. And this little girl at that time, she's around 6, 7, she watches the whole thing from the window. She's watching it and dad sees it as well. But at 6, 7, and you're still understanding because that's dad, that was mom. And she just lost her voice that time. She was never able to speak about that, like talk, question around her mom. She actually even passed away in that lifetime very quickly, developed an illness. And the illness was because she was not able to speak. She was really not able to trust anything because imagine like mom was not there. And then the other pillar of trust, dad, is who she'd seen killing mom. So it really was a lot for her tiny body. And she took all that trauma on and she passed away very quickly. But even in this lifetime, she carried that. So when we healed that when we healed just that whole space to be able to speak up, We also went back in time, healed that little girl there, gave her love, helped her trust, and walked through an exercise of what trust would be like, what a good life for that little girl would be like, what trust, how being held at that time would have felt like. When we healed all of that, then now in this lifetime, my client could have the healing and go like, okay, now I feel comfortable speaking her. Because before, when she would speak, the voice would even sound different. It's like the muffled, it's like even the voice is not coming out clearly. So we understand things in our human existence. We just can't always put the finger on it. But whatever pattern you have, and it doesn't always start from past life, it can be this lifetime stuff as well. I'll actually give one more example just to bring that home. But we're aware that there is some interference going on, and that's got to do with something that's in the past. Once you heal that, it's like healing the root cause. It's like healing the glue that holds all those negative experiences to it. When you take that glue away, once you've cleaned that icky spot, everything is ready. Like, it's good. It's nice and shiny again. We fill it up with high vibration energy. And then that's what the clients experience. Like, the difference between before and after is just so transformative. Because from a girl who could not speak, like, let her voice out, be heard properly, then she's like being on Instagram, and she's actually really being very vulnerable, very publicly on Instagram, which is so foreign when you think of the wounding that she'd had.
Thank you for sharing those stories. Those stories are amazing. Now, for someone, and let's be honest, for someone who'd be like, come on now, Nyomi, come on now, Kanika, what are you really, really talking about? Like, how is this really happening? How would you even know? So say, for instance, for me, I have really bad migraines. Like, even as we speaking right now, I got a migraine and this tinkling sound. So just for my listeners, my migraine that I've had for over 40 something years plus, even probably longer, could that be something from my past life?
It could be something from past life. It could be a lot of things, actually. Like, we think that it's just a past life, but there can be interferences between that part. So, when your soul incarnates, you come into a new lifetime. There are lots of things that can happen in between. Migraines, in your case, is a lot of energy trying to pass through, and it's not your energy. It's just not having as much separation there. So there can be multiple people, multiple beings. So people are people with bodies. So, I do this with my clients sometimes. When I'm teaching, I'll go, okay, just close your eyes and just think, what are the thoughts? Who are the people that are coming in your head? And usually they're the people who are in your space there. Like, literally, they're in your space. They're sending their thoughts. They seem to you as if they're your thoughts, but they're not. They're coming from that person. So it could be a living person. It could be a being who are just trying to get the messages. So that's that. But once you start clearing that out, that starts clearing up. And some of these beings, they are just the watching beings. They're just very curious. Hey, what's going on? Like, this is a very different topic. So let me just get in here. And they're like, just a freebie walk-ins. And then there are others who might have some other nefarious motives. There are others who are trying to drive your car, so to speak. Like, you're not as aware of them. Let me give you an example of that one. So, ever been angry and then you say something and you're like, oh my God, I don't know where that came out from?
Yes.
So that is someone else. That's someone else driving your car. Yeah. That's someone else driving your body, because they've just walked in and they've done something, eaten, like whatever craving you had, they just asked you to do that. And you've done it in the body, like you feel it, but it's not you driving your car. It's not you driving your body. It's just someone else has come in and someone else has taken over, and then you're just following their instructions. So it's not you. There can be other energetic interferences, like there can be cords. Example of cords would be, like, let's say you have a toxic ex or person you really want to get thinking out of. but you still keep going to them. Or people where you feel like, oh, I talk to this person and my energy suddenly feels so low.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a chord where you are draining your energy out, you're just giving your energy out. People who just seem to suck the energy out of you.
Yeah.
And so I could go on, but there can be lots of energetic interferences, and there's a lot of energy healing that can be done. But once you do that, the good thing is that it's a final step for that root issue. And then you get empowered. Let's say if something still crops up again, because some of the beings might still go like, hey, let me try. Like, I used to be able to drive this car.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try again.
Mm-hmm.
But then you know what to do, and you can keep them away, but slowly taking your own ownership back. And whatever we feel in the body, whether that's a migraine, even patterns that you see repeating in your life, like going from one toxic relationship to the other toxic relationship, they're all because the energy has been compromised somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally just cleaning that, like cleaning the house almost, but just cleaning that, getting aware of what it is. And then you see the shift outside. Like it just changes. It's like night and day. It's that different.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that. And I've been saying this for the longest, because my migraine stopped at a certain time. Like when I moved from Chicago to LA, once I got to LA, I didn't have any more migraines. I didn't have any more migraines. And then after my father had passed away and I retired my mom and moved my mom, I'm so sorry, Mama. I moved my mom into, with me. And literally that's when my migraine started back. But then like a year later after my mom moved in, then that's when I was pregnant with my last child. And so that's when it had got intensified during that time, and it hasn't stopped. Well, now it's better now, but now that when you talk about, I didn't know how sensitive I was to energy. I didn't know how sensitive, because it used to be a time where I could not go outside for 2 years. It started in 2020 when it really started to get really strong. And I believe that's when I was really at my altar a lot, really spiritually connected, that I couldn't go out without having my crown chakra covered. I would go out and my legs would get very heavy because I will feel different energies and different people. And when I say that, people are like, you're crazy. No, I would literally feel family members from miles and miles away. And I was like, oh my God, this is not mine. And I will go on my phone, text, who's okay? Anybody okay? And when I talk to that one person, then my energy, it just starts to like melt down. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was just so hard to figure out on how to clear and cleanse that, because it felt like I was just so open, like a sponge, like a sponge. So even before I do interviews with anybody, before I do a prayer, I cleanse the space, I cleanse the room, and just, praying that when I leave from this session that we have, that I'm not drained. But then I do feel it before I go to bed at night. And I used to do a lot of spiritual baths, and I truly believe that I need to bring that back into my my ritual again, because I had stopped that. But I think I'm going to, continue to, bring that back in. But for my listeners, so when she was saying about that, that is so real. It's a lot of times that you will wake up in the morning, and I know you felt this before, and you be like, oh my God, did I wake up on the wrong side? And it's not even your stuff. And when I say this not mine, I don't want this. This is not mine. Like, whose stuff is this? So I totally understood exactly what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I'll just give the listeners a very quick hack. To have your energy, just imagine like a bubble around you. You can cover that with golden light. You can imagine that's coming from the ground, the sun above, because the sun is the source of divine light. You can connect it with the earth, because the earth helps you release. It's got its own gravitational pull. So it helps you take away all the stress, the anxiety, all those things. And when you have that bubble, you can just say, okay, all the energy in the space inside this is me, outside is everybody else. So it's not wrong or right, but it's just that if in my space there is somebody else's energy, even if it's with good intention, it's not going to serve me because it is just clouding my own space.
Yeah.
So just imagine, play with it like a little child. And even if you're skeptical, this stuff works. It's so funny. So you can be skeptical, just be open-minded, just be curious, just play with it like a child. Imagine that you have this bubble connected with the sun and the earth, and say that this bubble is just going to hold your energy and no one else's, and just holds your space. And you'll start feeling the difference, especially with migraines, especially when you're not able to concentrate, when you really feel like you're out of the body. This is a very good exercise to do. And connecting your bubble with the earth as well, just to allow you to drain out all that extra energy or the communication that's trying to come through you, cramming in. But it's not their body, it's not their car.
Mm-hmm.
So just claiming that space for yourself.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Now, for our listeners, what can be some practical tools for them or first step for them you recommend to start reconnecting with their authentic self? Because this is what we're talking about here in this month, about connecting to our authentic self. What will be some steps that our listeners can do?
Well, I have two lovely freebies for them. So one of them is, if you are a parent, I have this 3-part audio series, very short, 10-minute audios almost every day that you get for 3 days. And this helps you understand the soul contract with your child. It helps you understand the karmic patterns with your child. And of course, it helps you clear them and reset them to the space of love and growth. So that can be found at artoflifecenter.com/parent. That is center with a CENTER.
Okay.
So that's what I can offer for parents, because it's truly my calling. And I think when I help parents, I help the kids, I really have a multi-generational impact. So I just love that. Also, I think I'm a mom through and through. I'm a very mom archetype. So this is just very dear to me. And then for other listeners who are not parents yet, or who just want to do something more, understand energy healing, I do hold live energy healing sessions, generally about once a month. They're free. That's a place to just come in, heal with me live. So what you will do is you will bring in your stuff, whatever your stuff is, whatever you want to get away from, a relationship pattern, a money pattern, whatever it is that bugs you. You bring it to the table. We'll do a live energy healing there. I work with the whole group. So this is how you experience energy healing for yourself. Yeah. And by the time you walk away in that 1 hour, you understand how energy works for you. You actually get the tools to clear it for yourself. So that can be at artoflifecenter.com/live, because that's your live session with me. So I hope to see you there.
Did you say the Art of Life?
Art of Life Center. Yes.
Okay.
Because, and that name actually just came to me, long before, just like how you were saying you got the tattoo and then you figured the meaning later on. Art of Life, it all just started almost without me thinking it. But that's the name that I picked up for one of the groups, and it's sort of stayed since then. But I just love the name, because what I do is I am teaching people just about life. It is Art of Life Center.
Yeah.
And I can be found on social media at Kanika Energy Coach. So shoot me out any email, any text on LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube, and I will answer your questions there.
Beautiful. Now, for anyone that wants to go deeper, how can they book a session with you or reading with you?
That would be great. Yes. So I offer one-on-one Akashic Record readings and healings, and we tap into the reading part, but we really come out with a healing, because I have the divine guides work in there, your guides, my guides, and there's just amazing stuff that happens. Like the shift before, after is like night and day, literally, because life changes. Like I've seen, for example, there was another client who had so he'd separated from his ex, and they had a child. And one day his daughter just fell down, which children can fall. But because she fell down and she hit her head, the mom sent him a legal letter saying that he was not supposed to take care of the daughter anymore, and how the daughter should be with her for all days a week. And it was like getting so bad, because she was now starting to dictate when he could come, when he could see her, and the daughter could not come and be with her. So that is the intensity of what was happening outside. We did one clearing session, cleared out all the energies, made a very nice safe sanctuary for them to have a really good co-parenting space. And after that, it was very different. Like the mom comes and she comes around and she's like, well, this just wouldn't be good for the child. So let's think of what's required for her. And maybe you and I can work out a relationship. So the whole legal thing stopped. And they agreed to work together as co-parents. So these sessions are just that transformative. These sessions can be booked with me on my website, artoflifecenter.com. That's where you'll find all the stuff that I'm talking about. But the readings can be booked at artoflifecenter.com/reading.
Okay, thank you. Beautiful. All right. So we have come to the end of the show. And I want to thank you so much. I truly do. I want to thank you for just sharing your story, but also just the possibility of truly healing and just reminding us of it and how sacred that it can truly be. And I want to thank our listeners for just allowing us to hold this space with us today. Kanika, do you have any last words that you want to share with our listeners?
I would just want to remind everyone that you are all divine. We all come from the divine spark. It doesn't matter how you're feeling, what's going on in your life, even if you have guilt, shame, any of those heavy emotions. Still remember you're part of the divine. You come from there. There is divinity within you. And thanks to all of you for even listening in. So you're on the right path, because you wouldn't be listening, you wouldn't be tuning into this if you weren't ready for it. So here's to you and your divine light.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for those words. And to my listeners, again, thank you. Thank you for just trusting us on this journey and coming on this journey with us. And next week we'll be diving deeper into what it means to truly live in your truthful, boldly, and without an apology. So make sure you stay tuned. So until next time, have an amazing, amazing day. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you so much for joining me today on this journey of intentional healing. I hope that this conversation has filled your cup and reminded you of the beautiful and worthy person that you are. I want you to remember, healing isn't about rushing. It's about showing up for yourself with love and intention, one day at a time. So I'll see you back here Monday and Wednesday for another episode of the Season of Healing Intentionally, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. So until then, keep choosing you. And visit us at the seasonofselflovepodcast.com for show notes and resources. And remember to connect with me on Instagram at The Real Nyomi Banks. This has been brought to you by Ask Naomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, because your healing matters. You are loved. You are worthy. And you are exactly where you need to be. Take care.